Light the beam. Light the freaking beam. 118-94 in a rout. The Kings took a 4-point halftime lead and extended it big time in the third. They hold on. They are on their way to New Orleans, a team that has been their nemesis this year. But it's one game. You don't know about Zion Williamson. So far, so good. In a moment, Ryan in Sacktown.
2, 1, go.
Sacramento miscue. Carter, stolen by Williams. And look at this. Oh, you don't like that. You don't like NBA basketball.
Fox, goodbye. Oh, if you don't like that, you don't like NBA basketball. The exclamation point from De'Aaron Fox. Oh, if you don't like that, you don't like NBA basketball.
Boy, that's an ESPN highlight right there. Whoa. Carlson comes in. How about this? Holy moly, Jim Bob Foley. That is a major league smudge.
The beam is bright tonight. 118-94, Ryno. Oh, man. And I got to tell you, I'm going to give props to start this show. Yesterday, right here on If You Don't Like That, we had Larry Krueger. Larry Krueger, The Krug Show on his YouTube channel, big-time talk show host in San Francisco. He hit this game to a T. Everything that he said would happen, happened. He was spot on. I got to give the guy props.
Yeah, I might have to go to Larry for some inside information next time. Holy moly. Well done by him. He knows his teams. Great show. So thank you to Damon Bruce, too. We had a great pregame show earlier today to kick things off. But Grant, it is even. Kings fans, you have knocked the Warriors out of the playoffs, and the Warriors have knocked you out of the playoffs. Though this time it's a little bit different. Might be the end of the dynasty. That makes it that much sweeter.
Yeah, the Kings aren't in the playoffs yet. They could be with a 48-minute performance coming up on Friday in NOLA. And Zion Williamson, we don't know about him. But, let's talk about this game first, and then we'll get to New Orleans. The attention to detail in this game was outstanding for 48 minutes. It really was.
It was incredible. I got a little bit worried in the fourth quarter. I was hoping for a Mike Brown timeout when the Warriors took it to about 13, I think was the closest they got. But other than that, Grant, they followed the game plan to a T. And all the things we talk about, why isn't De'Aaron Fox getting downhill? Why isn't Harrison Barnes being more aggressive? All of those guys did the things we've wanted them to do for a while. Great night for the Kings. And
a great night for Keegan Murray. I mean, he was outstanding with 32 points. He was the high scorer in this game, and he made 8 of 13 from beyond the arc. And what a huge lift he gave this team tonight.
No doubt. That shot looks brilliant. And he was even a threat a little bit on the inside at times. Not that he did a lot in there, Grant, but he was a threat to drive. So that way, when he was able to get his spots, it was magic for him.
Well, just a great night for Sacramento, and I think this is the end of the Warriors as we think of the Warriors. Curry's not Curry anymore. Klay Thompson obviously is, as Jerry likes to say, and I have the utmost respect for Klay. I love him as a person, as a professional. I have nothing negative to say about Klay Thompson, but Jerry likes to use the analogy dead horse. Klay's a dead horse.
Yeah, times have changed. There's still a role for him in this league, I think, but not like we used to know Klay. Yeah. It's a great point. Grant, if I told you the Kings were going to turn over Steph Curry 24 times in 5 games, what would you say?
Wow. How about that, huh? Think about that for a minute. I just love the way the Kings played this game tonight. Right from the very first couple of minutes. The first quarter, I thought, Ryan, was very important because it really set the tone for this game. And we've seen the Kings give up leads. They did a little bit at the end of the second quarter, and we were all a little nervous at halftime that it was only 54-50. But other than that little lull at the end of the second quarter, this was a very complete game for the Kings. Very complete.
One of their more complete games of the season. There's absolutely no doubt about that. The one criticism that I would have is I thought they let go of the ball a little too soon on the offensive end, sometimes in the fourth quarter. But Grant, to come out on this stage with the inconsistency cloud hanging over your head, to be lighting the beam as Domas is about to do right this second. In fact, you know what? Let's get in with it. There we go. Very, very good stuff. And Grant, if they roll into New Orleans playing just this style with this type of attentiveness, I don't know I don't know that you'll see the same outcome that you've seen. Not saying they're going to win. It'll be more competitive.
All right. I want to tell you that New Works Plumbing, they've been with us from day one. They are awesome. Big supporters of the Sacramento Kings. Just go to SacServicePlumbing.com or call the number on your screen. That's New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you, and they're available around the clock 24/7 for all of your plumbing needs and repairs. Again, SacServicePlumbing.com, New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you. The Kings are on their way to NOLA. And again, the uncertainty right now around Zion Williamson. He's going to have some imaging done to the leg tomorrow, but it did not look good. But even without Williamson, this is still a tough matchup. We saw the Pelicans steamroll the Kings all 5 meetings this year. So, enjoy tonight and then forget about tonight and figure out a way to beat this New Orleans team. By the way, I was surprised. I got to be honest, Ryan. I'm surprised they lost both games at home to the Lakers.
I'm shocked. Well, give the credit to the Lakers as well. They're playing some decent basketball, and they were very poised. They show that poise down the stretch tonight in New Orleans. Grant, let's talk about that matchup for a second, just a quick second.
Yep.
Why is it such a bad matchup? If the Kings can play the perimeter defense they did tonight, Steph Curry, way better than anybody on the perimeter for New Orleans, it shouldn't be the same story. It really shouldn't.
Well, this version of Steph Curry on a hobbled ankle, I don't know if I would agree with that. CJ McCollum, you saw what he did against Sacramento just a couple of nights ago.
Sure.
I'm not saying McCollum's better than Curry. I don't want people to misconstrue. I'm talking about right now. Larry talked about Curry rolling his ankle in the New Orleans game on Friday night, and you could tell he was not 100%.
No.
But it's not just McCollum. The way the Pelicans move the ball. And here's the other deal. Yeah, they beat the Kings 5 times this year, but it's like the NCAA tournament now, or it's like the Miracle on Ice. The Russians killed the Miracle on Ice team leading up to the Olympics by 8 and 9 goals every time they played. But for that one night in that one game, the United States was better. You only have to be better than the Pelicans for one night. You don't have to be better than them for the whole season. You just got to be better on Friday night. And if you are, no one's going to give a damn that you lost 5 times during the regular season.
No, not at all. You'll forget all about it. In fact, it'll be a great story. And we talked about this coming into it. We're like, well, most of the teams that are in the play-in finished their last 10 games pretty well. The Kings did not. Could they get that little run? So we'll see Friday night.
Yeah. And again, this is a Warriors team that lost to the Pelicans the night after the Pelicans beat Sacramento. So New Orleans went in the Golden State on the second night of a back-to-back and beat them. So listen, we know New Orleans is a very formidable challenge for the Kings. But let's get back to tonight's game. So we thought that in order for the Kings to win, somebody other than Fox and Sabonis would have to have a real big game, because you're not getting much from the bench right now. And that guy was Murray. This is one of the best games he played this year, Ryno.
Yeah, he gives you 32, Grant. He's a plus 20 for the night. Yeah, it's just what you needed. It gives you that third option, right? Even fourth option, you could almost say. So when the Kings have Keegan Murray playing at that level, it's a different Kings team. There's no doubt about that.
I mean, you only get, 14 points from your bench. And I don't know if that is going to – I don't know if you're going to beat New Orleans without a little bit more production from the bench. I don't want to, be negative here but you're going to need everything. This team's kicked your ass, not just once, not just twice, 5 times. The games have not been close. You understand?
No,
so, you got to keep that in mind.
You do, Grant, but here's the thing. This New Orleans team, they've been sloppy with the ball lately, especially tonight. They were very sloppy with the ball. So if the Kings aren't doubling Valanciunas, I think although the bench isn't going to give you, like you said, what you got with Monk, the Kings can make a decent amount of that up where they did tonight, exactly where I said coming into the game, fast break and points off of turnovers. Kings 20-12 tonight there.
If they double team Valanciunas on Friday, Mike Brown should start looking for a new job, okay? Because that was the 100%. That was one of the stupidest things I've seen this year. Seriously.
Well, they went through this little stretch, and I don't know if it was a personnel thing. Maybe guys were more banged up than we thought, so the Kings maybe tried to supplement there. But yeah, the Kings should not be. short of Zion, who may not be on the floor, you're not doubling anybody on that team.
Yeah, Zion did play 36 minutes, but we should also point out Brandon Ingram's back, and Brandon Ingram kills the Kings. So, all right, what was the number one thing tonight that impressed you the most? 48 minutes that was not individual related. We already talked about Keegan, and we talked about, what Ellis did on the what's the one thing that's not attached to a name that you really were impressed with tonight?
100% getting stops and capitalizing, stringing stops together. Grant, the Kings in the first half had 2 different stretches where they strung together 4 and 5 stops back to back. And then also that continued into the second quarter. Kings don't usually do that. Usually when the Kings are playing decent defense, at best, they're trading baskets with the other team.
Hey, I want to tell you about Bennett's. What a fabulous option for your weekend brunch. And don't forget, they have 60 different types of wine available by the glass. If you go there to enjoy a nice dinner, prime seafood and steak. It's also a great place for lunch. They have their happy hour specials on the apps, and great place to be, whether you're in Sacramento, Roseville, or this West Side Grill in Rockland. You're going to find the same great quality food, the ambiance at all 3 restaurants. It's a little bit different, which I really like. I go to all 3, and but you get the same great quality food at Bennett's. Just go to bennettsrestaurants.com, make a reservation, check out their locations, and if you need to plan a private party, a gathering, office party, celebration, they can accommodate you with their banquet rooms as well. That is bennettsrestaurants.com.
Making me hungry, partner. I don't think Bennett's is open right now.
That, I'm like, man, oh man, oh man. So we appreciate that. All right, so we also want to let people know that we have an auction that's going to be starting soon.
Yes.
So we have some vintage shirts from the 80s, Ryno.
We do indeed. These are pretty darn special. Let's start off with this guy right here, y'all. This is an original shirt. You guys see it okay? From the Jerry Reynolds show, and it's autographed by Jerry and Larry Bird. Try to find that somewhere. With the story between 80s. Those two.
Yeah, me and Jerry did the Jerry Reynolds show, and Larry came down to the studio, and so that's vintage. And then we got another one. Look at that. How about that? That's beautiful. Then we got another one with Jerry and Wayman Tisdale. The late Wayman Tisdale, one of the great people I've ever met in my life. Not basketball players, one of the great people I've ever met in my life. I love Tizzy. So we've got those shirts. And Ryno, why don't you let the folks know how they can get involved in getting those shirts?
Yeah, absolutely, Grant. Thanks. We're going to put the auctions up. We've been talking about it. They are going up tomorrow. So each auction also comes with an experience. They'll be linked to Grant's website. It's going to be on a third-party auction site. You can bid via multiple methods of payment, but the experiences, that's the most important thing. One of the experiences, you're going to get to play golf with me, and you can bring another buddy, and then my buddy Eric Snyder, all at Valley High Country Club this summer. That'll be a lot of fun. We've got a digital experience with Grant where you get to spend some one-on-one time with him. You can talk basketball, you can talk hockey, you could talk Bowling Green, whatever it is. And then also the last experience for our third shirt that's autographed by Jerry Reynolds. We didn't show that one. Same style, just a little bit of a darker color. That's going to come with courtside seats with me to a Stockton Kings game and dinner at Bennett's first that night.
I love it. Good stuff right there. And we'll continue to pass on the information. So we're so happy that you are joining us here on a celebratory night as the Kings beat the Warriors, but they're not in the playoffs yet. There's still a big mountain to climb. And again, even if you don't have Zion Williamson, having Brandon Ingram back, the Pelicans have beat the Kings with Ingram, without Ingram, with Zion, without Zion. So, keep that in mind. That when the Pelicans have been shorthanded, it has not affected their success against Sacramento.
Great point. It does not matter. And this isn't just this season, Grant. The Pelicans gave the Kings a really hard time last season. We've chronicled that. But this team, this Kings team, they feel like they're kind of settling into something where they're getting their roles. We keep saying that. They're getting the minutes. Mike Brown tied on the rotation, Grant. What do you think on that?
Well, I think it's perfect. The Kings don't
Yeah.
have a deep bench right now because of their injuries. Their bench players are now starters, such as Ellis. So, yeah, it's perfect. All right. Listen, you win and lose with your best players. I've been telling you this all year. You don't win with your 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th guys. And when you get to the playoffs, even though this is not technically the playoffs, but it's a single elimination, you're coaching this game, Ryan, the same way you would coach a game in the NCAA tournament. You're going with your best players for the most minutes, and that's what you do.
Yep. And I love it. It's kind of exciting. I mean, you don't want to go home, but it is kind of exciting. Hey, we got some calls coming up, but first we want to welcome InVision Web Design. That's right. You seen Grant's website? You seen some of our stuff? Yeah, that's InVision Web Design. Not only are they at the cutting edge of custom web design and collaborating with you, whether you have a podcast, a business, whatever it may be, they are always there for you. Grant, Max has been a life send for us and has helped us out a ton. So go check out New Vision Web Design if you're looking to get a website or you're looking to just upgrade the tech. Max and his team are there for you. Big thanks and welcome on to If You Don't Like That, New Vision.
That's great, Max. We really appreciate everything you've done. So thank you very much. Hey, before we get to John and some other callers, listen, I'm going to just say this. This is not the forum to talk about my lawsuit and spread false rumors. Okay, so if you do that, you're off the channel. Okay, we're not spreading false information on this channel. Okay, just for the record, my lawsuit is ongoing. We're very pleased with where it's at, and people that come on this and spread rumors, you're gone. So, all right, I just wanted to put that out. Let's get to some calls.
It's a good reminder. Condog, I'm pretty sure you're going to throw those hands up. Welcome in to If You Don't Like That.
I've been waiting for this. Won some bets against some coworkers. It's going to be a good day tomorrow for me. And light the beam. I mean, this was a great game from Keegan started off hot, and he did not stop that first quarter. And that set a great tone. And Mike Brown constantly just said throughout the whole game, just keep pushing the pace. And they did that, and we ran them out the gym.
Ran them out the gym is exactly right. It was a no contest in the second half, and that's exactly what the Kings needed heading into New Orleans. Now, you also have to understand, okay, this is now half the job. And to me, the entire season, to me, and I mean this, in terms of whether I think it's successful or not, is whether you win against New Orleans. If you don't, I don't think this is a good season. I think this is a step back. If you win and get back into the playoffs, it's neutral. I'm fine with that based on the injuries. But if you lose and are not among the top 8 teams in the West after last year, to me, it's a step back.
Well, in my opinion, you know what? If you can't beat one team 6 times in a season, you don't deserve to make the playoffs.
Well, they're going to have an opportunity.
Yeah.
Listen, man, we really appreciate you joining us.
All right, let's enjoy this, Sacramento. Let's go,
King. Light the beam, buddy. Light the beam.
Indeed. John, J-Cal, we're going to get to you in a second. Dash, we're going to get to you as well. Grant, one thing we haven't talked about is for the first time that I can remember, and maybe they did in the 102-101 game that they lost earlier in the season against the Warriors, the Kings made the Warriors work on the offensive end. They went way deep into the shot clock, and then conversely, the Kings were a threat. But we bring in our good friend and the guy that actually called this on the pregame show, John. Welcome in.
I told you, Ryan. I told you, Grant. What do you think? Am I John Stradamus now?
Not quite.
Whoa.
Not quite, I guess.
That was
How's it going, guys?
That's all good. We're getting ready already for the New Orleans game, man. So it should be a lot of fun.
Man, I couldn't believe that the Lakers played like they did, and that's how it is. But the one thing about tonight's game, for Sacramento to finally beat the Warriors and send them home crying, that is the greatest thing that all of us Kings fans that we've been trying to do for so damn long.
The only thing that could have been better is if it were the Lakers.
Well, you could say that, Grant, but it had to be either the Lakers or the Warriors. But yeah, I guess you're right. If it were the Lakers, that would have been better. But
and it's all good, John. It's all good.
Hey man, the contest coming up on Friday against the Pelicans, because we haven't beat them all season, that doesn't mean that we can't do it. I'm pretty sure that the Kings team that Mike Brown is going to put together is going to be strong enough to take that down. And I'm still so confident that
based on what
we are going to end up.
Based on what? He's had 5 tries this year with various lineups, and each time they've gotten annihilated. So I don't really know what Mike Brown's going to be able to do that's going to make it different. To me, you're going to have to hope that New Orleans has an off night because the matchups favor them so much.
Yeah, I agree with that. But then again, this is also a team that is a little bit different. Keon Ellis isn't the same guy that Kevin Huerter is.
Keon Ellis was on the floor 2 games ago, and the Pelicans kicked their ass. Okay, I mean, let's not forget about this. They had Keon Ellis, they had Davion Mitchell, they both played well, and they still got their ass kicked. So let's not undermine anything. Let's celebrate this game, John. I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer here, but the Kings are going to have to play the same way they played tonight, and they're going to have to hope that the Pelicans are not on their A game because the matchups just do not favor Sacramento at all in this game coming up.
Yep, but Grant, didn't the Lakers kind of show that you can, and if the Kings, they showed that they can pressure the ball and extend their defense, you can force the Pelicans into turnovers. So to me, it gives me more optimism. So
you're going to need that on Friday.
I agree. The quickness. I agree, you guys, Ryan, especially the quickness that the Kings are going to be able to play with that they've proven they can tonight. I think that's going to be a great asset, a great asset. But we have to play him. This is why we play him, guys.
That's why
this
we
game
play
is
him,
so
John.
freaking fun tonight.
That's
good
awesome.
Stuff.
John, it's good hearing from you, buddy. You enjoy the win, and thank you very much for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Hey, the beam's lit, guys. I don't know. I could turn my phone around. I'm not sure if you could quite see it. Can you see the beam up there?
I can't make it out.
Close.
A little bit. Hey, John, thank you so much, brother.
Thank you. Hey, a reminder, Jerry Reynolds right here tomorrow at 4 o'clock. So Jerry Reynolds will talk more about this game tomorrow at 4.
Can't wait to do it. J-Cal, it's a beam night. Welcome in. You're on with Grant and Ryno.
It is. Can you guys hear me?
We got you loud and clear.
Yeah, it is a beam night. Light the beam. I thought the Kings played a perfect game tonight. Shout out to Keon Ellis on that defense on Curry. Curry was just literally 22. If Curry scores 22 points on you, that's perfect. You know. Yep. Big game Friday. That Zion injury. We'll see what happens. I think it's a hamstring injury.
Quad.
But yeah, quad. Yeah, but that was weird that Brandon Ingram didn't play to like the last 5 minutes of the game. I don't know why he wasn't playing.
I don't know if he's on a minutes restriction. I'm not sure. We'll have to get more into this tomorrow when Jerry comes on at 4 o'clock. By then, we'll have a lot more information on Zion and Brandon and everyone else. Right now, it's still after the game. They normally don't release all this stuff until tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Kings have a big game Friday. I mean, they have 5 games of video to look at from now until then. So, I mean, it's going to be a tough matchup. It's not a completely different team than the Warriors because the Pelicans are just lengthy, you know?
Yeah.
They're just, we'll see. But
I got to tell you, I don't think New Orleans can have a lot, even though they're going against Sacramento. They had this table set up perfectly to be a 6 seed. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
On their home floor. And by the way, that's the worst arena in the league, and it's the worst crowd in the league. So
here we go. Just because you don't like jambalaya, now it's the worst crowd.
There's no home court. There's no home court advantage there, so that's not an issue.
Is it still called Smoothie King?
I think so, but it's an awful arena with awful fans.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Hey, we appreciate it, Jake Al, as always.
Hey, Ryan, you know me, man. I'm telling it like it is. It's an awful arena, and it's an absolutely awful, awful crowd. Well, I'll tell you what's not awful, and that's Gold Country Veterinarian Hospital. They are awesome. All right. They are located in Auburn. They serve the foothills, Roseville, and the greater Sacramento area. They a full service veterinary medicine. They do dentistry, surgery, wellness care, and they're dedicated to urgent care. When your pet needs to be seen, they are available. They have advanced internal medicine, full surgical care. They've got the most modern technology, and they're very proud of their pain management protocols. Again, folks, they are dedicated to urgent care. Remember that. When your pet needs to be seen, they are available. Gold Country Veterinary and Hospital.
Oh, hold up, Napes. Hold up. I gotta get my possession notes ready. I gotta get my quarter thoughts ready. Because we're bringing in Dash. I know he's got his notes. Welcome in, Kings win, Dash.
That's right, Light the Beam. No, I didn't take any notes tonight because I was too consumed by what was going on. It was beautiful to watch. The thing I loved the most today was that the fact that usually when things get really physical, the Kings take the back step, but today the refs let them play. It got physical. It reminded me of last year's series when things got physical and we faded, but today we stepped up. So great for the Kings, a great victory. I love watching that. The Pelicans, laws of probabilities working for us. So I'm taking that into going into the sixth game. But one thing I do want to say is I didn't watch the game. Pelicans Lakers. I don't know Ryno, Grant, if you guys did.
Some
But
of it, yeah.
what? Because I remember at least the most recent game that we played. Um, Valanciunas was a problem. But when I turned on the game, he didn't even get on the floor. So I don't know if you guys know or what did the Lakers do so well against them that Mike Brown and his staff can take that negated his presence on the court. That he was not an impactful player tonight for them. So if we
Napes?
can take lessons from that, that would be great, you know. But I'm
You can take some
excited.
lessons, but this league is about matchups. That's why the Kings are, very good against some teams you don't expect them to be good at, and very poor against teams that you expect them to handle. But it's because of matchups. The matchups are just not good for Sacramento. Jerry was talking about that at halftime today, and we'll talk about that more tomorrow at 4:00 with Jerry. But this league is about matchups, and that's why I'm okay with playing Oklahoma City. I think the Kings match up pretty well with them.
Love
And,
it.
and that and that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, if we get past Pelicans, like I'm
Yep.
confident going into that Oklahoma series. Rather the first seed, whatever seed they are, like I'm confident going up against that
Especially
team.
if you get Monk back for any part of the series, which it's
Absolutely.
not been ruled out. I don't think you can beat Oklahoma City without the bench, and Malik Monk is the bench. And I think that if you can't get him back for even part of the series, assuming you beat New Orleans, I think it's going to be very difficult. But I do like Ryan. We've talked about this. I
Yeah.
like the matchup with the Thunder. I really
Oh,
do.
out of the three teams at the top, it's the best matchup, I think. I think it
I
goes
agree.
Thunder, Timberwolves, Nuggets, in my
Agreed.
opinion. But yeah, I think, Dash, to answer your question, the Lakers, their basketball IQ tonight was great. They broke the zone when they needed to, when the Pelicans went into it, but they also knew when to push it and when to pull back. And they did some of those things at the same time, which is kind of crazy. And so forcing turnovers, they gave a formula. Can the Kings possibly double up on it? Like Grant said, every game's different.
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean we're on an 8 player rotation. Really, that's all we have going on right now. With them on the bench, we know this with the injuries. But hey, we live to fight another day, and who knows? Anything can happen. So I'm very happy Kings fan tonight.
Hey,
No
you
doubt.
should be happy. Everybody should be happy. This was a hell of a performance tonight.
Absolutely, and the monkey off our shoulders. I mean, this team, they took us out last year. It's that
Yep.
local rivalry, and like the Lakers are our rivals. But lately, it's been this Warriors team, hour down
Yep.
the road. I used to live in San Francisco. I used to drive up for the Kings games to watch the team, and I have plenty of coworkers tomorrow that I'm going to be sending pings to very early morning and let them know what happened tonight.
Hey, we
Hey,
appreciate it. Thank you as always for coming
Take
on.
care, guys. Have a great night.
thanks, Dash.
Good stuff right there. Hey, Ryan, I just want to tell you real quickly
Yeah.
about Sunrise Landing, and they have a phenomenal development out there in Calusa. 6 models to choose from, and no Mellorews, no homeowners, great access to the major arteries like I-5, Highway 20. It's all there for you at Sunrise Landing. This is a development from Blazona Development. And again, Sunrise Landing, if you go to CalusaSunrise.com, that's CalusaSunrise.com, you can check out all of the information. And again, Sunrise Landing. Big win for the Kings tonight. Now it's on to New Orleans. And don't forget, tomorrow, 4:00, Jerry Reynolds and we'll have it all for you again on Friday with the pregame, the halftime, and the postgame.
I'm so excited to do it again. It feels weird doing the show saying, well, this might be the last pregame show of the season. This might.
Absolutely.
Grant, one thing we didn't mention, we've been talking about Zion. Alvarado rolled his ankle in the game as well. So pay attention to see he stayed in the game, but he's a spark plug. He stayed in, but maybe those things swell up. We know that. We're going across the sea. As always, our guy who's probably got a full breakdown, Baki. Welcome in.
Yo, what's up?
Hey Baki.
One thing, what do you think about tonight's performance of Keon Ellis? I mean, I want to give you some stats about Keon I brought. The guy was 39 minutes, 5 from 8 from field goals. He had 3 threes from 4, offensive rebounds 2. Okay, total of rebounds are 4, assists 5, 3 blocks, 3 steals, and 15 points. I mean, I'm totally great with Keon Ellis. I mean, what? I have one question for you. What do you think if you are Mike Brown right now, and let's imagine that Herder is not injured. Okay, so if you remember how he played first part of the season, so if you compare with Keon Ellis, who would you be? Take 10 seconds or maybe more. Who would you be your starter in the next games? Comparing those two guys.
If Herder was not injured?
If Herder is not injured right now, and you're comparing his game, what he can offer.
I would still start Herder, but he would be on a short leash because I know I've got Keon Ellis in reserve, but I still need Herder's 3-point shooting. And, listen, when he is shooting the ball well, he's very advantageous for this team, and the team plays very well when he's making his shots. But when he's not, then I'm going to give him a quick hook, and I'm putting Ellis in. That's how I would do it personally.
I'm going the other way, Nate. Hey, don't do that to me.
What about you, Ryan? What about you?
Yeah, I'm going the other way. I thought the one thing Keon Ellis coming into the starting lineup did was show us that having a player like Kevin Herder, that type of 2-guard, in the starting lineup, there's not enough shots on the floor. So I put him on the second unit where there's more shots and you insert a guard that's more like Keon, whether it's him or somebody else, because it kind of frees up the offense.
Yeah, and I don't mean to interrupt, but we don't even. I don't want to. I don't, just so you know, I don't like talking about hypotheticals because it's a waste of time. Herder's not coming back this year, so it's not really worth talking about. You know what I mean? I understand why you're asking it, but why are we talking about this? Because Herder's out for the year. Even if the Kings go to the NBA Finals, he's not coming back.
I think it's looking forward to Baki.
I didn't mention because anything about Herder. Okay, he's done for the season. But I only wanna point to the Keon Ellis. How I mean, this guy is playing his defense and offense. You know that, Grant. So what about his defensive performance? Did you see how he defend Curry and waiting like a leopard in the ambush to block the guy, and how he's following him? And I really like the way how Keon Ellis is thinking about defense, about
he's playing well. He's playing very well. No one's saying anything other than that. He is playing very well.
I just compared two guys because I think he gave the Kings more with defense plus offense more than Herder when he was okay.
But understand, now we don't care about tonight's game. He was on the floor against New Orleans Friday, and the Pelicans torched Keon Ellis and everyone else that was on the floor. The Kings had zero answer for the New Orleans offense, no answer. So that was with Keon Ellis. So just understand, tonight's fine and dandy, and I'm with you 100%. But now, you have a completely different animal that you have to try to, contain on Friday.
Okay, but I hope they will figure it out to change something. And with a little adjustments, I think we can do it. I think we can.
Well, you can do it. I mean, it's a 48-minute game, but it's going to take A+. You can't have off nights from Harrison Barnes or Sabonis or and foul trouble. Every little thing's going to have to go your way to beat New Orleans, because they know they beat Sacramento all 5 times. They know they killed them all 5 times. They have even though they lost a pair of games, they got to feel very confident. But we also have to wait until the injury report comes out tomorrow. As Ryan said, we'll know a lot more tomorrow.
I mean, those 2 games are not to compare, but would you like to see the same Kings in Friday night like tonight?
Baki, the one thing that I will say, it's a good question. I want to see the Kings take something from this game and apply it to the Pelicans, where they mismatched their initial matchups on defense, knowing that there was going to be a lot of motion and picks on the outside, which then put the guys on the right guys on the second play. The Kings weren't doing that the first time around with the Pelicans. Yep. Maybe that's a little bit of a switch up.
Great.
Rocky, we appreciate you. Hey, we always love having your daughter on too. You have a great day over there in Belgrade.
Thanks.
Thank you. You're a
sweetheart.
Thank you.
We love you.
Bye. Bye.
She's a gem, an absolute gem. That's great. Oh, man.
Good stuff. We're loving the calls. You guys are doing an absolutely awesome job on the phones. Kings win again tonight, 118-94, headed to New Orleans on Friday. We bring in Rooftop Sports all the way in Seattle.
Yeah, thank you for having me on the show, and it's great to communicate with you, Grant, there and there. And I just want to say that, first off, congratulations on the victory against the Warriors. Always good to take out Stephen Curry early in the playoffs. And second, thanks to the show, and I've actually been watching it regularly, at least until the Sonics are back. The Kings are my interim team, at least until I get my team. So hopefully you guys will pull out that victory against Zion Williamson and somehow make a deep run in the playoffs.
Well, we'd love to see Seattle get a team back, that's for sure. So we're rooting for you all up there too. But yeah, the Kings can beat New Orleans. It's not like they can't beat them. It's an NBA game, and you throw the ball out, and maybe the Pelicans have an off night. Maybe the Kings play their best game of the year. Maybe there's CJ McCollum gets hurt in the first quarter. Maybe, listen, you can beat them. Just go out and play. But you're not going to beat them if you don't play an A game. That's not happening. You have to play a complete 48-minute game, because the Pelicans know that they can exploit you in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, and I just want to say good luck. And Ryno, right? Ryno?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've also been doing a great job. And it's also great to see Jerry Reynolds. Sometimes I feel like I'm in a time machine when I see both the duo back together.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate you. And,
cool.
You have a good night up there in the Pacific Northwest. We really appreciate you coming on the show.
Absolutely.
Have a good night.
Yeah, you too.
That's what I love about Seattle fans. Honest, I'm partial. I'm a 12. But would Sacramento fans say the same thing to Seattle if their team was there? I hope the Sonics get their team soon.
I do too. They need it for sure.
What a night, partner. What a night.
I love it, man. I absolutely love it. I'll tell you what else I love. I love the work that Foster's and Paws does, because they really are about their mantra. I mean, they back it up. They are a group of passionate animal advocates. Okay. They do great stuff. They work primarily with dogs in shelters. They're looking for fosters, donors, adopters. They have puppies available right now for adoption. If you go to fostersandpaws.org/adopt. All right. Again, get yourself a puppy. And again, check out their website. They do fabulous work. fostersandpaws.org/adopt. Very passionate animal advocates. Kings are on the way to New Orleans. And if they win that, they know they're going to be playing a minimum of 4 more games this year.
Wait, Napes, I'm confused. Why wouldn't people celebrate this win by getting a puppy? That's what you do after a big game like this, right?
Go for it. Yeah.
Love it. Hey, what if I tell you Keegan Murray set the record for most threes made by a King in a playoff game? Now, does it count as a playoff game? That's the question.
Doesn't. No, it doesn't.
There's your morning talk show debate right there. Does it count?
And that's not a really a record that has a lot of validity to me, because the 3-point shot, when the Kings were really, really good and in the playoffs every year, wasn't a real focal point of the game. And the game continues to be more and more of a 3-point shooting contest with each passing year. So, yeah, the numbers are good, but it's only relevant for the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point. We welcome on to the show Jason. You're on with Grant and Ryno.
Hey, good to see you guys again.
You
Thanks
too,
for the
buddy.
great show.
And I want to also add one other thing, Ryan.
Yeah.
The Kings weren't in the playoffs before last year for the previous 16. So what are we talking about? We're talking about a record. We're talking about a record that when they were last in the playoffs, when most of our audience were in diapers, the 3-point shot was not a prolific part of the game. So that, you know what I'm saying? I know
He
the
just
Kings.
won the
I saw the same thing on Twitter about Murray, and I'm like, that's stupid. That doesn't really mean anything. But anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead. What can we do for you? Thanks for calling the show.
It's okay, Grant. Thanks. I appreciate it. Real quick, on a side note, you've been teasing about something on Twitter about good news, and I don't know if I saw it. Have you posted?
Yeah, it was 2 weeks before it happened. I said great news is on the horizon. That was the Oakland A's coming to Sacramento.
Really? I didn't
Yes.
see that.
I can back that up.
Have you been living in a cave?
Well, no, I just you pounded it in my head for the last 20 years that the A's were never going to be in Sacramento.
No. They're never going to, and they're not going to be in Sacramento. They're not going to be in Sacramento. This is a 3-year hiatus from Oakland before they have their new ballpark in Vegas. The Major League Baseball is not coming to Sacramento. People that think it's not possible. It's not happening. And people that think it's happening are delusional.
Oh, so it's a psych. Got you. I don't watch baseball anymore anyway, so
that's okay. What do you want to talk about with the game tonight?
Well, I just was really impressed. First of all, that Coach Brown, went to Keegan Murray. You could tell that they set up all the first maybe 5-6 plays for him, and they just sought him out. And I was really impressed with that. It seemed to me,
great point.
Quite honestly, I haven't been real impressed with this coaching as of late. But it seemed to me that they went specifically at a mismatch on offense. And I think that was something I haven't seen in any of the other games. And I was really, really grateful to see that. And he even went to the rack quite a few times. I thought there was a lot of sloppy play with Fox a little bit, and same thing with Sabonis. I was really impressed with Keegan. With Keon Ellis and his play. He looked very poised. He looked very intense. I was like, it reminded me a little bit of like Gary Payton back in the day, where you could tell he was ultra focused on his defense. And he has really impressed me. I'm really glad that the sequence of events has happened, that he's gotten a chance. Very, very impressed.
Amen. I agree with you. I mean, it's amazing how well he played and has been playing. I'm with you. He's been a big boost. And thank you very much for calling the show. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, Grant. Appreciate it.
Thank you. My pleasure. Got a lot of good calls tonight.
We do. If this is who I think it is, he's staying up late, and I am super happy that he is up. Is that Patrick? Patrick?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
I think this is my first time calling in, so I think this might be another Patrick.
Well, we're glad that you're on, Patrick.
Happy you're on.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say a couple things, just like what Jason was saying. I really loved the Kings' effort in this game. I think everyone's saying that. But what I loved was De'Aaron Fox going in for that not a tip in, but like a dunk. You know, he followed up a play with that dunk. Then I also saw he dove onto the ground and maybe had like 1 or 2 jump balls also. And then also we all remember that rebound that Keegan gave up in maybe one of the last 3 games. You know, everyone was saying, you know, he should have held on to it. And I've just noticed in the past, like in the Trailblazers game and the OKC game, Keegan Murray has really, I can tell that he's been diving on the floor. He's been holding on to rebounds. I think that's really just something to love about our team, especially at the end of the season. We've been really inconsistent, but I think this is probably the best defensive effort and the most. A lot of people have been talking about the fight, how maybe the Kings haven't had enough fight in them, and I think we really saw it tonight.
Amen. Appreciate the
Amen.
call. Thank you, Patrick. And
Yeah,
call
definitely.
again. We love first-time callers and appreciate you making the effort to join the show. Thank you.
You know what I liked about Patrick's call is he didn't even mention the fact that how in like Keegan Murray from the head or the neck up, he is such for a second year, Grant. You've been around him. It's different, right?
No. Well, and I think it's his age. You know, he wasn't a one and done. You know, he played 3 years of college basketball. He came in as instead of a young man, I'm an adult. You know what I mean? Like it makes a big difference. And his mindset is perfect for being a professional athlete. He has a tremendous demeanor. I'm a huge fan of his.
Absolutely. Speaking of guys that were in college 4 years, Trace Jackson Davis. That was weird. Did not start the second half. Something happened with him. We have a hard out tonight, so we want to get everybody in. We're bringing in Gary in Humboldt. Gary, how you doing tonight? We're going to take Gary down. That wasn't working too well. Let's go to Phil. Phil, welcome into If You Don't Like That.
Hey, what's up, guys? Absolutely love your guys' show, Grant.
Thank you.
Thank you. You are the best, man. And I've been a longtime Kings fan, and you saved us, man. You and Carmichael Dave. I can't thank you enough. And I know this is just a play-in game win, but this feels so damn good. I grew up. I grew up here. I grew up here in Davis, and and I can't tell you, going to those games in the late '90s and the early 2000s. I mean, that place was raucous, right? And that was in my high school years. And as we grew up, I had some friends that went on, and they went off to college, and then the Warriors got good, and all of a sudden they became Warriors fan. Not me, man. I've stayed true to it, and in talking trash to those guys right now, tonight feels so damn good because last year freaking hurt, man. It hurt when they were talking that crap after we gave up that 2-0 lead, and this just feels so damn good. And let's bring it on.
Enjoy it, my man. Enjoy it. Yes, it's small in comparison to last year, but it still feels damn good, and you should enjoy it, Phil. You should enjoy it.
Hey, thank you guys for what you're doing, and Grant,
thank you.
You are the bee's knees, man.
Thank you. Appreciate you, Phil. Thanks
killed
for your
it,
support.
Phil. Phil killed it there, Grant. Love it.
Give Gary a try again?
Yeah, should we try to... Gary, just so you know, Gary, you had a couple feeds up. I don't know if that was the problem, because I don't think we have two Gary and Humboldt. But Gary, welcome back in.
There we go. I think we got it all fixed now. Sorry about that. I was trying my hardest to get the camera all straight out on my phone. It's not easy.
We're here now, baby.
All righty. It's good to kind of come in from the northwest part of California, being a Kings fan for many years, and finally seeing the Warriors go down tonight. I've had a lot of Warrior fans give me a hard time for many years on my support for the Kings. But this was a great night overall. Keegan Murray played a great game with 8 threes, 32 points. Just unbelievable.
He played a great game. He was great. He was outstanding. Yeah. Very solid. I mean, he was the best player on the floor.
And probably the MVP of the game tonight by a country mile. I was very surprised on the way Klay Thompson didn't even shoot the ball very well. 0 for 10 tonight. Like that kind of was a little shocking in many ways there. So all I have to say is on to Friday night, on to New Orleans.
On to Friday night.
Hey, thank you for the call, Gary. Appreciate it.
Take care. Look forward to talking to you guys in the future. Have a good night.
Please do. Keep calling.
Appreciate it.
We love it.
Again, a lot of good calls tonight, a lot of good first-time calls. We really enjoy that. And we're going to be doing the same thing after the Pelicans game. So keep that in mind and be sure and join us.
Yep, we are here for you. We've been here all season. If this is your first time here, come check us out. In fact, Grant, you just passed 7,000 subscribers not too long ago on your channel, buddy. Those are some pretty big numbers. If you're not subscribed, hit that QR code. We would greatly appreciate it. You can get some exclusive programming there from Grant and some rants, and then you'll know when all of our shows are. And then if you'd like to, check out my podcast. That's the King's Court. It's daily. It's your Kings Insider. It's free. Come check it out. And go listen to the deposition of Ryan Sacktown. You'll learn a little bit more about me.
I love it. It's good stuff. And we really appreciate the people that also watch us around the globe. And we're all in different hours. You know, I've been doing a lot of shows into the wee hours of the morning, but compared to Baki, I'm like doing a show in the middle of the day. Baki literally stays up all night, you know, for if you're in the East Coast like Patrick, and, you know, when I do shows from Florida, you know, okay, no big deal. The game start at, 10 o'clock at night, and by the time you're done, it's 1:30. But then I think a guy like Baki, who's been up all night watching the games, I'm like, hey, I have no reason to complain, man. So for wherever you are around this globe, thank you for being with us. We greatly appreciate it.
Hey, man. Well, we do have to take it with a grain of salt with Baki, though. He doesn't have any windows in his house, probably, so the light doesn't hit the TVs, because he's always watching basketball, but we love it.
Oh, my God. All right. I'm going to give you a try, Teddy, and then, but I don't have a good feeling about it. Go ahead. Told you. All right. So tomorrow at 4 o'clock, all right, tomorrow at 4 o'clock, we are going to have Jerry Reynolds on, okay? And I think we're going to have a lot of good analysis, because by tomorrow we should have the injury report from the Pelicans.
Yeah, hopefully it's accurate. The Warriors wasn't.
Yeah.
Not that the Kings are the best, but we'll have that. And, the plan's pretty simple. Just do what you didn't do the first 5 times.
Yep. All right. We'll close the show with we're going back to a bonus from Serbia. Okay.
Yes.
The floor is yours. Go. What do you have for us?
I think we will win the Pelicans because Pelicans have a little brain.
This is true. This is true.
That's all from me.
Thank you.
Bye from Theodora. Bye.
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 Is that a perfect way to end the show?
It's the way to end the show, Grant. I love it.
Love it. Hey, you all are the freaking best. Thank you for your support. Tomorrow, right here, 4 o'clock. The beam is lit. The Kings are on their way to NOLA to take on the Pelicans. And if they win, they're into the dance. Yes, indeed. Have a good night, everybody. Tomorrow, 4 o'clock, right here, if you don't like